Hello! Today for you, I have a review of this mouthpiece, the Chimera 550 from Long Island Brass Company. Now, in full disclosure, I am a performing artist for Long Island Brass, but this review is going to be as unbiased as I possibly can make it. So, let's get started. The Chimera 550 combines a mouthpiece rim that's about the size of a Bach 5G with a cup that's about the depth of a 6.5 AL. So we sort of get a combination of some different standard size components here. Now there are other makers that make highly customized mouthpieces like this. Think of Doug Elliott, AR Resonance, companies of that sort. So this isn't something that's quote unquote new, but I think that you'll find on the Long Island Brass Company mouthpieces that there's just a higher level of craftsmanship that goes into them. And for me, I really like the weight of the mouthpiece. It's a nice balance of having enough material there where the mouthpiece doesn't break up at Loud Dynamics, but it's not so heavy like some other mouthpieces are. Now, a mouthpiece like this might be good if you are somebody like me who spends a lot of time playing on a large tenor, using a fairly large mouthpiece. The rim size on here gives me just a little bit more room to move around while still getting the really nice poppy sound that you can get on a smaller mouthpiece such as the 6.5 AL. A couple other things I'd like to highlight quick before we do a little play test. This mouthpiece, as with all of the LiBrassCo mouthpieces, has a removable shank. I found that these ones move very easily. They don't tend to get stuck as with some of the other modular mouthpiece models. And then I'll insert an up-close video comparing a Bach 6.5 to this Chimera 550. One thing that you'll notice, in addition to the size difference on the rim, is the contour of that rim. The Long Island Brass mouthpiece has a much flatter rim contour, while the Bach is rounded, not as much as I've seen. A Schilke tends to have even more of a slope to it, but it's a fairly round rim. And I really like the flatter rim on the LiBrassCo mouthpiece. It provides a lot more stability. I feel like I can lock into the partials more. But on some mouthpieces with flat rims, you almost feel like you get stuck in those partials. I don't experience that here on the Chimera 550. The two things that I love about this mouthpiece the most are, number one, the comfortability, which I mentioned earlier in terms of the profile of the rim being a little bit flatter, and also the wider rim so that I have more room to move around. But secondly, the sound that I get. I really like how clear and precise the sound that I'm able to get out of this mouthpiece on my Corporation Bach 36 is. I had been playing on a 6.5 AL before, and while I liked that sound too, for my taste it was a little too airy at times, or a little bit fuzzy around the edges, and I feel like this sound has really focused in on this mouthpiece. I also think that this mouthpiece could be a good fit in certain classical settings, say bolero, or maybe you're doing the Mozart Requiem with alto trombone, a small tenor, and then sort of a modern large bore tenor replicating what a bass trombone would have been at the time. This could work for that, or maybe even certain solo repertoire. There's a lot of flexibility that this mouthpiece provides in terms of the sort of tonal palette that you're able to get out of it. So let's hear a little bit of bolero now. If you're interested in this mouthpiece or any other Long Island Brass Company mouthpieces, check them out on LiBrassCo.com. While you're there, if you decide you want to buy this mouthpiece or any other mouthpiece, you can use my code for free shipping. It's Bartels free shipping. It'll be on the screen here and it's in the description down below. These mouthpieces are rather spendy. They retail for $264, but it is money well spent. Every one of their mouthpieces I've tried or bought, I've thought has just exquisite craftsmanship and is a really great mouthpiece. It's just a matter of finding which mouthpiece is going to work the best for you and your other equipment that you're playing with.